Greetings, Aries and Aries rising. This is your Western forecast for January 2025. In my yearly videos, I gave a lot of information about all the major planets changing signs, but I didn't bring in the karmic north node is also changing signs every year and a half. And in January, the early part of January, karmic north node is moving into Pisces for a year and a half. And it's going to amplify all the themes of Pisces. Plus, it's going to be joined with Venus for the month of January. Venus, love, creativity, beauty. Venus will be in Pisces for 1 month. Pisces is usually goes through all the signs once a year, but the karmic north node is going to, in January, is going to begin to amplify the themes of Pisces, but also bringing in the themes of Venus. And Venus is at its best. It's exalted in the sign of Pisces. So I didn't bring it up in the yearly forecast because it was just more and more information, and I was trying to keep it as clean and as focused as I could. But let's just start with January, just to look at what is the primary energies that you're having to address. And I always start with, where's the new moon? The new moon once a month, where the new moon is falling, is where our attention, our priorities are more direct. So on December the 30th, just the last couple of days of 2024, was the new moon in Capricorn. And the sun in Capricorn will remain in Capricorn till January the 19th. But that new moon will hold that Capricorn energy through all of January. So Capricorn is 10 signs past Aries, or Aries rising. So what's going on here is the new moon is bringing so much of your priorities and attention to 10th house matters, which represents career. It represents leadership. It can trigger issues with the government sometimes, and sometimes it can bring more visibility, leadership, and even if it's all set up to start triggering a lot of recognition and fame. The other big thing is your ruling planet Mars is retrograde, which I talked a lot about. But about January the 6th, it retrogrades out of Leo, which began at the beginning of December, and moves backwards into Cancer, into your 4th house of home, family, real estate. So I did talk about that, but the Mars will be retrograde, which could be more this push-pull, passive-aggressive, feeling frustrated energies, taking more effort to get the same accomplishment. So it's retrograding, creating more delays and frustrations from January the 6th to February the 23rd in your 4th house of home and family and real estate. Then it releases its energies that blocked retrograde energies and now goes direct. But it continues in that 4th house sector till April the 17th. So these first 3.5 months of 2025, your ruling planet, which has a lot to do with pointing out a lot of your life purpose. It's going to have a lot of focus maybe on property, your living situation, certainly family, along with the Capricorn influence for just January, is in the 10th house of career. So maybe family, career issues, family business, real estate, business. But before I now get into this karmic north node in Pisces, if you enjoy these kinds of videos and would like to see more of them, click like and subscribe. And don't forget to click on the notification bell so you can receive the latest postings. All right. In the karmic north node has a lot to do with pointing out our karmic lessons. And whatever it's triggering, the house, any planets, it's really amplifying that energies. The karmic north node is bringing a lot of growth, but even more, maybe more unconscious growth, not so obvious. Now, this Pisces, going into Pisces for the first time in nearly 18 to 19 years, it's going to be in Pisces for a year and a half. And it's going to be in your 12th house, because Pisces is 12 signs past Aries. And the positive side of this karmic north node, well, let's start with also Venus. It goes from sign to sign about once every month, approximately. But Venus, for the month of January, will be in Pisces. And therefore, Venus will also be in the 12th house. So Venus, well, the karmic north node is going to amplify all the themes of Pisces, which is compassion, charity, intuition, spiritual matters. But it's also amplifying Venus, which could really amplify a lot of compassion, creativity, love. But it's all in the 12th house. So there's a lot of, it's going to be a lot more favorable, because the 12th house is what's hidden. The 12th, so with that 12th house, this could be bringing up some longing for a great love, but maybe more, what's the word? Unrequited, yes, from a distance, and not really connecting or keeping it all very private and secretive. But Venus in Pisces is in its strongest sign, and so the best of Venus in Pisces in the 12th house for Aries and Aries rising is highly creative. And so for artists, this would be the positive side of the 12th house, is pulling deep within to do a lot of private work, inner work, to be alone, to be able to express all this creative energies. But Venus in Pisces also points to unconditional love, and amplified with the karmic north node. And so with that north node, Venus, 12th house, you might be really inspired to go on a spiritual retreat, or to get much more into charity or spiritual practices. Now, the new moon is putting that focus on life purpose and career matters, to bring it more to the everyday mundane. Now, the full moon is always 2 weeks after the new moon. The full moon can test relationships. It brings a lot of matters that's been hidden to the surface. It can be a very emotional, reactive time. It's going to peak on January the 13th, so maybe a day or two later, around January the 13th. This full moon is in Cancer, And it's going to be conjunct, very close to being very much influenced by the retrograde Mars in Cancer. So that could be triggering a lot of emotional frustration, irritability, tensions with fourth house matters, which could be with family issues, but could also be a lot of stress. You certainly wouldn't want to be doing or starting any repairs, remodeling, major house cleaning around the full moon, because as it falls into the fourth house of real estate, and it's aligning with that Mars retrograde. It could trigger a tremendous amount of irritability and frustrations. The last week of January the 19th, the Sun enters into Aquarius, now shifting your attention to 11th house matters, but the Capricorn is still the dominant theme throughout January. As you get more into February, the 11th house starts to become more of a focus for you, more of an interest for you. But the last week, from January the 19th, is you start getting more interested in the 11th house. One of the things the 11th house represents are your long-range goals, and with the main theme, with career, you could be very much focused on business career matters the first part of January, and by the last week, you might be thinking about where all this is going or where you want to take it into the long range. The 11th house also deals with collaboration, teamwork, organizations that you could be more involved in, more interested in, or working with. And the 11th house also deals with friendships. So you might be being more social, doing more networking, hanging out more with your friends. But the big shift, because these four outer planets that I talked about in the yearly forecast, it's going to take till next July, August, before they've all changed signs and actually in harmony with each other. But January is the first major planetary shift of the karmic north node going into Pisces, and you might be having this real spiritual pull. I want to thank you for watching. If you'd like information on how to book an astrology reading or to check out my 2-question offer, visit my website at gardino.co. That's .co. Until next month, be safe and well.